All right, Daniel Marin's interesting story this week involving Chris Christie. We're going to lighten things up a little bit in this segment now. Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey. It was announced, confirmed, that he had a stomach tightening surgery. His health, he was grossly overweight, obviously. And here's Chris Christie talking to reporters about why he had this type of stomach stapling surgery. Listen. I'll play the role of Chris Christie here. I'm in a little trouble. Chris Christie said, I did this for myself, my wife, and my children. Unlike some of you, they will still pay attention to me, whether I run for president or not. So Chris Christie is saying he's doing this for his family. He's not doing it for politics. But Daniel, isn't it a fact? There's a huge political benefit for him to have his stomach stapled. I mean, yes, I give the guy credit if he's doing this for his family. God bless him. But he has been told over and over by his political advisors, by pundits, by strategists, if you want to be serious about running for national office, you have got to do something about your weight. He has heard that over and over. And isn't that a pretty, I don't know, lovely side benefit of doing something to look out for your family?
Yeah, David, it is, but I'm not going to blame him for it. I mean, I'm not absolutely convinced that he wouldn't be able to sort of be an extremely viable, likely candidate, a competitive presidential candidate, even with his weight prior to the surgery. Because keep in mind, obesity is an American epidemic. 30% of American adults are obese. It's something that he could say, hey, I'm a flawed person. I'm just like you and everybody else. Certainly, and if I'm going to stereotype here, it certainly doesn't really matter for the Republican base in some of these states. But
are you saying that the Republican base is fat, overweight, obese? They eat too much?
Based on some of the images from Tea Party rallies and the RNC in Tampa this past year, not to say that a lot of Democratic base isn't overweight. I mean, Al Gore is part of the Democratic base, and so that's something that we need to consider. But
right, you go after my former boss now. Great.
Former. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe Christie figures that to the extent that the Whole Foods crowd is going to vote for him, they don't. If you're kind of like a moderate northeastern Republican who maybe does care about eating healthy, then probably Christie's your only candidate anyway. So I'm not exactly sure. It's a little bit of a wash for me, actually. I think that this may, but no. I mean, in all seriousness, look, I'm happy for him. Obviously, this was a last resort, and certainly he's described it that way. And I really do wish him the best because he's a compelling person. And though I would not vote for him, and I would not vote for him for governor, and I support his opponent Barbara Buono, the state senator from New Jersey, from Middlesex County, from New Brunswick, who I think is an excellent progressive champion and deserves all the support the Democratic Party can give her in this gubernatorial race. I think that he is a good person for American politics because he is blunt, and he also actually moves the political spectrum to the left because he's not a racist, at least openly, and he kind of is willing to work with Democrats.
I agree. I mean, he can take the Republican Party back to being somewhat relevant and effective in helping to shape the debate instead of somehow inflaming the public debate with how far right it is now. And to the extent that Chris Christie is able to do that by being a leader in the Republican Party in the national stage, I think it would be good for all of us, even if many of us would not support him or the GOP.